So you're surprised he's made this move, Kate?
Not surprised at all. When all the interviews were happening early last year, I really thought this is his last time in Afghanistan, essentially because the troops are withdrawing. By the end of this year, by the end of 2014, David Cameron said no more troops in Afghanistan, the country is up to governing itself. So where could his frontline role really be? There are no more troops in Iraq. And was he going to take over the same role as William and be a search and rescue pilot? It certainly seemed to me as if he's served his time and now he's going into the desk job. I don't think we ever thought Prince Harry was going to be a career soldier and be a general and a major, that he would be in a different role.
So what do you think his job is likely to entail? We know that he's passionate about the Warrior Games, the ex-military Paralympic Games that happen in the States, and he might want to bring that over here if he can.
Yes, he's obviously very keen on Help for Heroes. He did the Antarctic trek for Help for Heroes. It's very important, very close to his heart. And I think it's time now. He's a young man, but he's growing older, and I think time it is for him to really carve out his own role, carve out his own charities. And I think thinking about the veterans is a very important thing for him to do. And this is a role of planning ceremonial occasions, so Remembrance Sunday. And I think perhaps we'll see a few of those parties. We know that Harry's a brilliant party planner. He planned the party after the royal wedding, so I think we're going to see a few parties too.
But he doesn't strike me as being much of a desk man. Won't he miss being out and about, in the rough and tumble of army life?
That's what he always loved. He loved the rough and tumble. He loved the fact that in the theatres, no one recognised him, no one really talked about him. Life is different, but also, this is also a taking over of more royal duties. Last year, the Queen said she didn't want to be the same, she didn't want to travel as much. Charles would take over her travelling, and increasingly it's about the young royals, William and Kate and Harry, stepping up and taking over the jobs that the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh have been doing.
Which is fair enough, they have both signalled. And maybe his personal life as well, wants to spend more time in London perhaps? What do you think?
Well, a lot of the newspapers were saying we're expecting to see an engagement over Christmas, and there's certainly been no announcement yet that he's proposed to Cressida, his girlfriend, but they've been out and about together. We know they're still very close, and certainly Harry is, my sources tell me, very eager to get married.
Oh, your sources indeed. I wonder who they are. Right, let's talk about Zara Tindall as well. Amazing day for her. She had her first little baby girl with her husband, Mike Tindall, and a very different experience, wasn't it, from the experience of Prince George,
yes,
his arrival into the world.
Yes, this is the Queen's fourth great-grandchild. There's George, there's Peter Philip, Zara's brother, has two little girls, and now there's this little girl as well. And yes, a completely different life. George is third in line to the throne. This child is 16th, and she will be displaced by children to come. So Harry's children, Beatrice's, Eugenie's, they'll all push her further away from the throne. She's not going to have a life like Prince George. Photographed, talked about, the most famous child in history. And she's also not a princess. She has royal blood. She's the Queen's great-granddaughter, but she is not a princess or a lady. She's just Miss Tindall, because until the rules changed last year, women could not hand down the title. So simply, she's Miss.
OK, I'm sure she's going to have a lovely life, isn't she?
I think she'll be a sportswoman.